Welcome back, my cavalry, men and women. So we all know the cavalry ain't coming. We're it. This is the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears. Today I just finished sitting down and speaking with my marketer, and a good friend of mine too, by the way. He's not just my marketer, he's a friend Ed. And we were talking a bit about a few things, and I just realized, look, man, it's, if you've been watching my work here recently, this is one of those phases in life that you go through where it really does challenge you. And mind you, I asked for all of this. I absolutely put it out into the universe if you want to go that way with it, which is, I'm not a big advocate for, offsetting a God figure or character to facilitate the unknown, whether that God figure is the universe or if it is God or whomever it may be. I'm more of what can I do specifically by who am I to my society, who am I overall, what kind of moral compass do I work with, what does integrity mean to me, those kind of things. You get out what you put out kind of stuff. And so by me saying that is, this is actually in total magnitude, this is a harder time in my life than, or more of a challenging time in my life, not so necessarily harder, but more of a challenging time than when my father passed away in 2006. And that was a huge blow. Since then, I've gone through other challenges. I've gone through the starving artist phase, where I'm so dedicated to getting a business to work that I was willing to take that all the way down to near nothing. But what's come to mind and what's going on with this is, I did a video yesterday, and I can elaborate more on this, but be more, again, the thought of the day is the stickiness of emotions, and it's an area that I know we can develop, we can mature emotionally. Otherwise, we'd all still be, babies about everything, right? We'd still be, like we were when we were toddlers or infants. So, but that we develop, right? We develop through experience and exposure and guidance through authorities, our understanding of reality, logic. All of those things contribute to how our emotions develop. Can you get yourself out of the stickiness of the challenges that come up in life, especially when you're dealing with some of the most challenging times of your life, like the end of a relationship and the stickiness that comes out of the reminders of every moment that actually has a value that says, hey, that's no longer real, it no longer exists, that's no longer something that you're a part of, especially whenever it's an addictive experience or it seems so strong and so consistent in your life that it seems like an addiction, quitting smoking. I've been through that myself, and I know a lot of other people have as well. And what I found that worked is by being aware of, one, if you're consistently in those thoughts, you're feeding the emotion, if it's sadness or the abandonment or the loss or whatever that is, the pain, the narrative that's associated with that relationship's ending, whether you didn't do the right thing or they did the wrong thing or whatever that narrative is about the storyline, about why that relationship's over and what it means to you that it's over. You get those things that play a part in it. You get really stuck in the experience of it because it's consistent, right? It's an easy reminder, but a lot of that is that how much of a role did that person play in your life? Like, how much time did you spend talking to them, thinking about them? What activities were you doing when they were involved, or either involved in conversation, on the phone, in person, or through thought? Maybe you had a conversation about something specific that was funny or noteworthy and changed a behavior, or something that is associated with that person at that time. It gets real hard to get away from those things. So then it's like, okay, well, now what do you do in order to mature the emotion? Well, it's active, so it's ready. You can mature it now. What do you do with that? And you could easily say, okay, well, I need to develop here. So that's aggravated, that's a problem, that's a challenge for me, that I'm constantly sad or I'm upset or whatever. Instead of giving into the consistency of the thoughts of abandonment, loneliness, and all of that, is you look for the interrupters. When can you interrupt that? How could you interrupt it? when you finally realize that you do have some space to interrupt, then you can start interjecting other thoughts. You're observing the thoughts, and then you can interject on the thoughts, because the thoughts are they'll always present the opportunity for emotion. It just doesn't necessarily mean that emotion will be there. It depends on how you energize that thought, what's the utility of the thought, how far does it work for you at this moment. Did you just think about it and it went away, or did you think about it with an interest of making it a personal thought, instead of a fleeting thought? So, and then you have the emotions associated with it. Now, those emotions, if sadness and longing or heartache is there, then you'll have the undesirable experiences. But there's that, right? You can assign the emotional attachment to the thought and say, okay, well, these are the ones here that's in sadness or whatever, and you can apply the antidote to it, if you will, or something to neutralize it as best you can, which is a way of fighting the upset or the loss or the loneliness. Whatever that is, you give it the other side of it. If it's sadness, then you give it joy, because it's the opposite of that. It's the same. It's different sides of the same coin. So joy is the experience of achieving the goal, and say sadness is the lacking of achieving the goal. You give it joy. Now, joy can simply be small, momentary thing. It could be, okay, I seem like I've been hitting every single light and getting stopped at every single light since I've been driving, and this next light, I want to be able to make it through green light, not running a light, not speeding, nothing, perfect traffic rules, all of that. I want to see the next light be a green light, and then I get through that light with no interruptions. And if you can get through that next light, you can have a piece of joy that comes out of that. It's not a significant one typically, but it's something, because it'll start the momentum into another direction. It's breaking the inertia that you're currently fixated into the negative or the undesirable. But anyway, so the thought of the day is, can you do that? Is time the only way to heal those wounds, or can you intentionally heal those wounds? If you're listening to this and you did listen to the previous video, you'll know that my position on that. If not, want to go back to the previous video, which is, I believe, 173. So, anyway, throwing that out there, thought of the day. Today's conversation, and we can make this fairly short and quick, is about having a development partner, or assigning somebody that is to help get you unstuck in situations. So, like my conversation with Ed today, anytime you feel like you're painted into a corner, you're able to lean into these types of relationships and get a different direction, a different insight. Put your efforts someplace that's still taking a step forward, but you have a partnership with somebody that is there to help you do this. So, okay, well, you're stuck right now. What is it that we can do to get you unstuck? Sometimes you're prepared with the answer. Sometimes they just need to go, okay, well, these are the things that we've been interested in talking about and working on up until this point. Let's do more of that, or something associated with it, and then have them put their creativity in, to help break you of that, the funk, if you will, and get you on track of something so you can make some progress. So, yeah, that's it's an interesting direction, really, because what you're doing is you're creating accountability relationships that will help you change your life. Because if you're left to your own devices and you don't have partners, along the way we do get a little weak and we want to take a knee. You don't have to, though. And sometimes if you take a knee, it may take you a long time to get back up. It's completely up to you how you do this, but I'm one to create powerful opportunities for us. That's my thing. I really prefer that. So that's what I actively work on a regular basis. So that's what I'm working on with this. That's what I'm working on with everything. So today, my conversation with Ed was in the business side of maturity. We were covering things about marketing, going over more about my gym consulting and what I do in consulting. And really just a kind of a walkthrough on a few things. But there was a great degree of excitement that occurred, and that was really energizing. That was something that gave me a lot of energy to use. Because again, if you've been watching this, you know this whole thing is like, it's still in its growth, and it's going to be in its growth. It has a lot of polishing to go through for the Immaturity Project, but we're on our way. You know, we are where we are, and you're just catching us in the process. If this is later on, you know, this is 2024, sometime later, 2025, 26, whatever, you'll be able to gauge where I'm at with the business and with this education by that time. Actively growing this on a regular basis, trial and error. There's a lot of goes into it, because look, it's just maturing. That's all it is. And I'm categorizing everything. I will tell you this also, Ed has been involved in this now for a little while, and it's only been involved in it for a couple of months, but yeah, he's qualifying things like I do, that I absolutely love it. We were talking about how, you know, like whenever you're dealing with people, it's like you're just starting to look at the way they're responding to the current situation in the environment, and looking at that from the 8 different areas of maturity to give you a better understanding of where they are. Not as an absolute, but a better concept of where they are. So you don't need to put a negative on them. You don't need to say, well, that's their ego doing this. You don't need to look at them and categorize them in such a way that you diminish them. It's just that they're just going through some stuff, and this is what I need to do to support them, but also not harm myself in the process. So that you come across being one, patient, understanding, supportive, and constructive, very development centric. That's what I really enjoy doing. And he told me today he does the exact same thing. Now, we've talked about it, but we have not gone over it multiple times. It was something that I mentioned. I think I mentioned it one time directly, and everything else around the conversation's consistently that, but without making the direct declaration. The conversation's always about, you know, growth in 8 different areas of maturity and that. So it was such a rewarding experience that added to my battery that has been feeling a bit drained because of the current situations that I've been going through. Now, none of this, by the way, is intended for any kind of pity or anything. It's just, this is the forging of a diamond. I'm not saying that I am that precious thing, but I'm willing to face the challenges necessary to create the precious attributes about my character that makes me stand out and makes the difference, that helps get me closer to my goals, which is really to help develop and cultivate and mature humanity. So anyway, join me in that process. This is the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Broshears, Chad Everett Broshears. And share this video with the people in your life that you want to start a meaningful conversation with. You really want to make a difference, start that conversation today. Share this video with them. Contribute to the community. Comment in the comment section. You know, let people know that you're out there, that you're up to something. People get notifications that are on the subscription list that says that, you know, they're getting, you know, there's been a comment in the video, stuff like that, to encourage more interaction. Specifically, if you've also put something in there, even if all you do is just put where you're from, you know, what town you're in or wherever you're at, just to get some degree of engagement, because that's the community, man. You know, it's one of the areas of maturity. It's a second area of maturity, you know, community. So with that, share this video, comment, like the video. You know the standards. Like and subscribe, baby. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Let's grow it. You know, I'd really like to be able to get to 125, you know, subscribers by the end of the year. Really would like to get there by my birthday, October 12th. It's coming up real quick. It's the 21st now, but we're at 88 at the moment. But join me, all right? And this is just, it's really to create a developmental movement to inspire people to actually look at maturity in a different way. That your maturity is the solution to the challenges you're going through. So we grow through what we go through. So let's get up to it, man. Let's get up to something together. Path to hell's paved with good intentions. People that watch this and that are working on themselves like this, you're not out to make any more paths to hell. You're out to make solutions. So, all right, till next time. Let's get up to some stuff. Let's get up to it together. See ya.